If that intro doesn't wake you up, then nothing will. I've got to admit, that thing is like pumping, but I like it. It makes me smile. So, welcome to another Sims Media Clarity, where we actually look into what's happening within the world of media, how it can help you. This isn't a sales pitch. This is quite simply, hey, this is what we're tinkering around with. Maybe it should work for you. So, every week we try to come up with a different subject, a different topic. And let's be serious, it's not hard because technology changes on a minute by minute basis. Things happen. Twitter, blue check marks, verification, chatbots. The world is just coming at us thick and fast. And we've noticed one of the big conversations that's going on hot and heavy at the moment is on the AI and this star child at the moment, GPT, I think it's called. Now, everyone out there will know that I don't know everything, but it doesn't stop me from trying things. You got to kick the tires. I did an NFT line. It did really, really well before the NFT world tanked. But hey, I'm more experienced now than most people that actually write books about it that have never issued their own NFT. So I urge you quite openly, don't shy away from technology. Poke it. Try it, see what you can do. And for that reason, we were chatting away the other day with a friend of ours and a speakeasy member, Manuj. And Manuj is incredibly, not only efficient, credible, he's on university boards. He actually educates a lot on AI and he's very, very credible. So I asked him quite simply, can you do me a favor? Can you come on and just explain to us kind of, nobbies, what the bloody hell's going on? What is it with this ChatGPT and what should we be looking at, focusing at, and be ready to come at us? Also, Henry's not with us. He went out for a Christmas party last night. A few too many sherbets. So he's not with us this morning, but Manuj offered to take his place. We think he's better looking than him. So let's bring in that strange man. Manuj, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. So I wanted to actually thank you very much for doing this. We don't have a lot of guest spots. It's not that kind of thing. We're not that organized on our Sims media calls. But me and you were talking about it, and one of the things that caught me, which made me giggle, was you actually sent me. Now you've done it twice now, but you sent me a poem, and it was something that you knocked up in like 10 seconds using this ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is it? You went, oh, it's just something that the AI did.
Yeah.
And it was a review on, I think it was Bluefishing, wasn't it? Was that the
That's
first
right.
one?
Yeah.
And then yesterday you dropped another poem, again, that you had nothing to do with, that this bot did. So first of all, let's get to the basics. We know that AI is artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
We know that it's the world of chatbots. And we know that every website in the planet has this annoying freaking chatbot on the bottom that answers questions like it's a first grade robot.
Yeah.
And we know it in a millisecond that it's a bloody bot, and we get pissed off and we walk away from it. But it's not going to be like that for long, is it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So first of all, give us a little bit of background on who you are, the boards you're on, or boast a little bit. Tell us how important you are within the world of AI.
Yeah. So, basically, I'm recognized as one of the top leaders in the world of AI. I've spoken in the UN about how AI can be used to, accomplish big goals like climate change and equality and things like that. And I was sharing the stage with Nobel Prize winner, Secretary General of the UN. I'm helping several universities build their future curriculum for AI. And I have 4 patents, and they are all related to AI, machine learning, technology. So, I have done quite a bit in this field. I've been here in the technology sector for like 30 years now.
All right. So you're Billy Big Balls in this arena. So that's great news. So for us people, the end users, now you guys are developing this, but it needs end users like us to actually adopt it. So this ChatGPT, I heard about it, I think about a year and a half ago, but nothing was happening. But all of a sudden, it's the conversation star child everywhere. What is it and what does it do?
Yeah. So it's a large language model. So think about how we learn as a child. We put together letters A B C, and then we know, okay, this when we put together these two letters, it makes a word, and when we put these words together, it makes a sentence. And we learn over time, and we go on to acquire degrees, PhDs. But imagine a computer can learn everything that is out there to learn, everything that has been ever thought, taught, written, everything. And now the computer is smart enough that you can go and ask, hey, you are super intelligent, tell me about this, but tell me in a way that I can understand it. Tell me in a way that a sixth grader can understand it. Tell me in a way that it's like a rap song. So this super intelligent computer can go in immediately and understand what you're asking for it, and then give you that output in a creative way. It's not going to take the text that has been written by somebody else, but it knows what words come after the other and sort of put together the output and give it to you. So it's like a very super smart librarian. You can walk up to it and say, I don't want to read any books, just tell me, I want to learn about how chemistry works. How do you mix these compounds? How can I synthesize uh, a, um, a financial statement? How can I write a contract? It will do that all for you.
Now, it does, to simplify it. So you're the smart one. I'm the one to simplify what you're saying. We've seen something similar to that, and there'll be a lot of people out there going, well, that's what Google does, because we often go into Google, which is obviously building its own AI as well.
Yeah.
And we go into Google and we go, what's the best way to fix an oil leak, or what's the best way to repair a roof? And we get articles that have those answers in it. And you have things like, what's the top searches for blah, blah. So we already get that from Google, but we get results, which we then need to develop. The beauty about this new chat that I want to highlight that you said is it will answer to us in the style that we like to be spoken to. Exactly. And like, for argument's sake, it's not a search engine. It actually produces, case in point, the two poems that you write. And I heard someone say the other day that it can learn the tonality of an author from dissecting previous books that that author's written. And then the author can give a subject and maybe even a short recording, and it will write your third, fifth, fourth book for you in a couple of minutes.
Exactly. So people have been writing books, they have been selling. The history of this is, the first model that came out was called GPT, just the generative transformational model, and ChatGPT is built on top of it. So GPT was like more technical, where technical people needed to train it, and it has been around for 2 years, and people have been writing books using that. But ChatGPT is like a simplified version, where they have added this question and answer format, where anybody, no, you don't need technical expertise, you don't need anything. You just need to understand what questions to ask. If you cannot ask the right question, then it's not going to work. So you need to learn, okay, this is the question I need to ask, and then get in a conversation with it and ask follow-up questions. So let's say, when I wrote the poem for you, I said, hey, give me a few takeaways from the book, and it gave me those takeaways. And I said, okay, give me the action items that somebody can take on these takeaways. And then it listed those. And I said, okay, take these action items and give it to me in a poem format, and make sure it rhymes, right? So and it'll do that. And then I can take it further and say, convert it into like a melody, like a classical singer will do it. It'll take that poem and convert it.
So, okay, and I think that's the key. It's the technology's been there for smart people to be used, but when it can get into the masses, it needs to be easy to be used. And at the moment, there's actually it's got a website. What is the website for it? Is it
chat.openai.com or .ai?
All right. Okay. So we'll put that in the links under here so that you can actually go to. I've actually already subscribed to it. It's free of charge because, of course, it's learning all of this information. A couple of things you need to be aware of to the listeners out here. And I heard this the other day expressed by someone that I wasn't expecting it from, Will.i.am, the singer. Now I don't know Will I Am very well, but I've worked with Will I Am a few times with Peter Diamandis, and he's a massive tech nerd, smart guy, and he was on a panel talking about Elon Musk and Twitter, and everyone was saying, "Oh, it's stupid, Twitter's a waste of time, blah blah blah." And Will I Am pointed out, said he's not buying Twitter for Twitter. He owns, I think it's Neuralink, his AI program, and he's just bought the largest conversational pipeline in the planet. He can train his AI program with those conversations in minutes and advance his AI program. So that's one of the things there, that he's looking over here to solve a problem over here. People think he's polishing this. He's using this to get this. And with that happening, you consider he's paying attention to AI. This AI is coming up. We find it stuttery now, and we have these conversations with bots. Oh, I want to talk to a human. Oh, I want to. Let's be serious. 9 times out of 10, you get through to a human being, and they're just reading the bloody thing off the screen, and they're of no freaking help. Exactly. So the computers now are getting to a position where they're going to be able to access more data, but be able to converse with you. What is the time frame? And this is a big one I'm asking you. What is the time frame that we've got ahead of us before we can't recognize if we're talking to a human being or a bot?
Let me first address Elon Musk and Twitter, right? One thing I always tell people is AI needs a lot of data to become smart. So data is like the most valuable commodity right now. It's as valuable or more valuable than gold now. Okay, so when Elon Musk pays $44 billion, he has acquired huge amount of data. It's like going to Saudi Arabia in 1930s and buying a whole bunch of land, knowing that there is oil underneath the land, right? So that's the situation. And now with ChatGPT, we to answer your question, ChatGPT is now that at that level where we don't recognize. Like when I wrote the poem, you immediately ask me, did you do this, or like how did it happen, right? And you are a very smart person, exactly, like you can smell the BS from a mile away. So you were not able to differentiate whether this was written by a computer, or and I'm not I'm not very how can I say it? Like, I'm not very expressive in that way. Like, I cannot write poems. So we are at that point where computers will be able to one up us. Like, we won't be able to recognize it, and even more so, we will be impressed by how they respond to us. Because as you said, when we talk to a human, we have limited ability to discern what you are asking me. I'm a customer service agent. I had a fight with my wife in the morning. I dropped off my kid. They were late. I'm all like, all this is going on in my head, right? But AI is super intelligent. It'll say, oh yeah, I understand exactly what you mean. This is what you need to do. And we will have much more pleasant experience talking to AI rather than a human.
No, that does make sense. All right, we've got a question that's come in. And again, we like to ask questions. Chris Gunn's come up with a question. When and what impact will quantum computing have on the world of AI?
Yeah. So this is going to be even scary when I explain this. So, in this year, the Nobel Prize went to quantum entanglement. Like, without going into the specifics, our world is based off multiple possibilities, and the computers today, they can only look at the past data. So, one of the questions you asked me, why does ChatGPT doesn't tell me anything about your latest book, which is Go for Stupid, because they have only acquired data up to 2021 and not after that, although they will continue to acquire more data, and then we will be able to ask those questions. But but these computing algorithms can only talk about things that actually have happened in reality. But when we go into like looking at what reality is, it's a combination of possibilities that can happen. Like, tomorrow there could be a war that can end, climate change can end. These are all the possibilities, and it's based on our choice, individual choice, and as a society, what outcome we will have in the world. With quantum computing, it can actually go into these possibilities and say, okay, given the output, what are the millions and millions of possibilities that can actually happen. We don't have the ability to do that right now, because our computers right now just only understand zeros and ones, like, if this, that, and then that. But with quantum, we will be able to say, okay, given this possibility, given this has happened, what are all the possibilities, and tell me now which way is the best thing to what is the best route to go. Is that making sense?
It is, and it is scary. It is, and again, it's easy for people to go, "Oh, I don't understand this stuff. I'm going to run away." We've got to be a kid. A kid doesn't run away from this shit. Grown-ups, we run away from it. A kid will unscrew the back of it to see what the bloody hell it looks like, and then fuck up the remote control. We need to be those kids. Today, we need to look at this kind of stuff and we need to play with it. We all need to register for that GPT. We all need to do that. I'm asking people, put the link in here. If you're listening to this, put the link in there. If it's not in there, I'll add it afterwards. But tire kick it, because it's coming. It's not a fad. It's not a, oh, I don't know if this will take off. It's here. And Manuj is using it. Now, Manuj, I'm putting you on a spot. If anyone's got any questions, and I asked him this beforehand if he was okay with this, and he said yes. If anyone's got any questions on this, he's a good lad. Reach out to him. As I say, he's part of the Speakeasy family. He has been for many years. DM him and ask him the questions. And as long as it's not a really stupid question, then I'm sure Manuj is going to, or maybe even it is stupid. Maybe he'll answer them all. But reach out to Manuj and he'll help you on there. Absolutely. So, and you can find him on any of these platforms that we're on now. So he's got here, Manuj Agarwal, perfect. So we know that AI is coming at us. It's very easy to go, oh my God, I don't understand that. Am I correct? The fact that GPT, which was what I heard about before, which was for technicians and smarty pants, now they've added the chat element, so it's for the people. The more we use it, the better it's going to be. I can't help thinking that we're on the verge of the similarity of websites. And if we look back to the websites in 2000, they were like, well, JavaScript, HTML, it'll cost you $20,000 and you'll get 3 pages and only one of them will work. We're at that moment.
Absolutely.
So at the moment, it may be a bit terrifying, but it's going to become simple and stupid real soon, the more people use it. You don't want to be the granny left out of not understanding technology. What would you advise people to do and to try to get more accustomed to this new technology?
As you said, sign up and ask questions. What will happen is, this, like, think of it as a calculator. When you want to do a complex calculation, you need to input the data into the calculator to get the right output. So sign up for ChatGPT, start to ask the questions. The better you get at asking the right questions, the better you will be able to say, okay, how can I use it in my business? Because if you just stay away and you don't understand what is happening, or you look at other people using it, you will not get to experience it, how it will affect you in particular, because we all have different ways of looking at the world, different businesses. So it is very important for people to personalize the experience for themselves, and then they can hand it off to somebody else and say, hey, I understand this now, this is what it can do for my business, so why don't you take what I have built, or these are the things I want you to do, this is the outcome I want. Just like what you said, when the websites came along, you didn't understand the technology, but you understood what you wanted on the web page, right? So that's the idea. So get used to it. And the other thing is that it is even more scary for people, or as a technology guy, it is unbelievably scary and exciting that this is the first version. This is the first version of this technology. So you cannot even imagine. I cannot imagine what it will be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's going to be like, you can think of something and it'll just answer it. Like, you won't even have to type something, right? So that's where we are going.
And it's funny because you still come down to asking a question. I read once that this really smart author said, if you get the wrong question, if you get the wrong answer, it's because you're asking the wrong question. That gentleman wrote Bluefishing, really smart, handsome fella that was. But it's all, again, down to us. If we're not getting the answers we want, it's because we're asking the wrong question. So, again, understand what it is you need. I've got another one here from Adam Raymer Brown, recently married to Meg. Woohoo! All right. Is there a path currently to upload your own data and ask questions of it? For instance, upload your transaction data.
Yeah. So transaction data, like it cannot, you cannot upload millions and millions of records. But what you can do is, like, for example, what I did was I took a long financial statement of a company. Like, they release a financial statement every quarter, right? So uh, people get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to make sense of these financial statements. You can upload it and say, summarize it for me as if I am 10-year-old. It'll give you all the highlights, but you cannot so far say, okay, these are 10 million records from my transaction, give me all this. Although that technology also exists, not particularly with the chat gpt. So what in this case, what you can do is you can create a technology that sits on top of chat gpt, comes up with like some summarized version of what you're looking for, feed it to chat gpt, it'll further summarize it for you or make it more useful for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it did. I remember. I remember there was an example when I was looking at it. It was actually giving you a cheat sheet of an investor shareholder pack
Yeah,
and the summary of a company. It was actually diluting that even further into just a headline. So
yeah.
it's really simplifying everything. We've got another one here that I don't understand the question, but that doesn't mean I'm going to shy away from it. Chris Gunn's come back with a question: when and what happens when the hardware is added into the mix? Don't fully understand that question. Do you?
See, hardware can be, on the back end, where this technology is running in the back end in the cloud. Hardware can be the devices that we wear, wearable devices, or the laptops or the phones that we use. So more and more, the hardware is going into the background. The hardware is a interface through which we interact with the technology. So you will see that as technology is progressing, the hardware is getting smaller and invisible, right? So eventually, what will happen is, as I said, with interfaces like Neuralink and things like that, we will not have to type things in. We will not have to we will not have to use the hardware to interact with technology. Just like Alexa and Siri, we don't have to type things anymore, right? So
Yeah.
so slowly, the hardware is going to disappear. It is going to be like invisible to us, and we can just like talk to the AI, talk to technology as if it is just another entity.
Wow. All right. So we usually keep these at around 20 minutes, and we're already over that. I know that you've already agreed to do an AMA within the Speakeasy Facebook group. So thank you very much for respecting that. I'll announce when that is so everyone can lock in for that. And I believe we're also going to be doing a podcast as well. So that's going to be giving more information. This is very exciting and very scary, but thank you very much for giving it to us in a simplified manner. Thanks very much for coming on today, Manuj.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, so we'll bid farewell to Manuj. Manuj is a cool cat, and I honestly, he's really, really good at answering questions, and he's a sharp dude. So, as we said earlier, and I asked him this before, if you got any questions, if you're wondering how you can use it in your business, DM him. He really is a market industry expert on this, which is funny to be an expert on something that's only been around for a short period of time. But let's just say he's got more experience at it than most of us. The Sims Medias are here for you. If you have a question, if you have a subject, if you have a concern, DM us and we'll do one of our Wednesday morning Sims Media videos on it. Henry will be back with us next week. Hopefully he would have sobered up by then. And I look forward to seeing you. Be safe over Christmas. There are idiots out there that drink and drive. Don't make this Christmas a sad one for yourself. So use Ubers, be safe, be smart, enjoy, hug your family. And I'll see you just after Christmas. Bye for now.